What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. So today we're coming back with yet another Billboard hip hop list. Now, Billboard has had a couple of these lists that have been pretty controversial, especially the top 50 rappers of all time that they came with not too long ago. So it's another list that is going to get talk, has gotten talk and attention on the net, and this time it's dealing with the top 25 female rappers of all time. Now, in the last 10 years, female hip hop has really taken off in the mainstream. I mean, I mentioned one time I was in the car with one of my buddies not too long ago, and he mentioned to me like 3 out of the 5 rap songs on hip hop radio are from female artists now. I mean, there's a female rapper like every other song almost now on the radio, so it's really popular in the mainstream. From female drill rap to of course, if you want to call it strip hop or the sexualized rap, the boss chick rap that's taken off. It definitely has come to the mainstream and is leading the mainstream right now. Whether you want to say it's a really quality hip hop, now that's another debate for another day. But they definitely have done their thing as far as come to the front of the mainstream. So with that, there's now the top 25 female rappers of all time. Now, this is just a wrap-up video that I'm doing courtesy of All Hip Hop TV and Johnny Fastlane. So we're going to pull that up, and let me pull that up right now, share screen. We're going to talk about this list, and we're going to determine, okay, which ones were too high, which ones were too low, which ones really didn't belong at all, and were some of these a reach, So let's talk about it, and let's go.
Okay, so first, we have to take a look at what the criteria are for the best female rapper of all time. All time. This is according to Billboard. For their ranking, they consider the body of work of each artist, their achievements like chart-topping singles and albums, gold and platinum certifications, cultural impact, presence, and influence, the longevity of their careers, their lyrics, their flow, and their overall musical content.
Now, see, I want to stop it here real quick. It's going to be interesting to see how they order this list and if they're going to put up female rappers more on their, how should I say, their presence and influence. Because I think with female rappers, I think female rappers get elevated to a certain point or to really a point where they really shouldn't be, not because of their music that they put out, but more because of their personality. There are a couple of a number of named female hip hop artists that their personality and their presence on social media and their presence on media does not match their body of work. It's going to be interesting to see how they categorize that on this list, and if they put that ahead of female MCs who really have had a stronger impact musically and with a body of work. So with that, let's get started on the 25.
So who dominates in all these categories? Starting at number 25, we have Tierra Whack, followed by Doechii at 24, and the legendary Gangsta Boo at 23.
Okay, so I want to stop it there. So I think the list has gotten off to a good start. I think Doechii, I think it's a little bit too fast to put her up, higher than 24 or so. But I think she definitely belongs on the list. She's got a bright future about her, and she's going to be higher up on this list. I definitely think. But I think just off of the success in one year, the Grammys, the now she's getting more mainstream radio play and radio singles with like Anxiety and things like that. She's going to be around for a while to come. You know, Tierra Whack is interesting. I don't know if there was really someone that could fill that spot. I mean, we're going to have to see as a list progresses or who was left off. However, she does have a very unique style. She's the opposite of what the mainstream female rappers are perpetuating with whether it's gangsta female lyrics or drill lyrics or over sexualized content. But I don't know. She's kind of borderline for 25. 23 Gangsta Boo, I don't know. I think that's maybe an influence, and that's more because they want to respect the trap movement. And she was one of the first, Southern trap female artists coming out of 3-6 Mafia and Hypnotized Minds. And I think that's why she made the list. I maybe could see her at 25. Maybe I could see her at 25. But all right, I mean, I could live with Gangsta Boo, but I don't know really of a standout rap album she's had. But outside of her being at the forefront of the trap movement, I think that's really her only claim to fame for being on this list. So I don't know, maybe a little bit of a reach on Gangsta Boo. Let's see how the list progresses.
Coming in at 22, we have Lady of Rage. Now, personally, I don't think that Gangsta Boo or Lady of Rage should be on here. Like, Where's Rod Digger or Charlie Baltimore? Lady of Rage and Gangsta Boo definitely are legends, but putting them on this list seems kind of forced. Anyway, we have Glorilla at 21, Moni Love at 20. What? Lotto at 19.
Okay, I want to stop there right now. As far as having the Gangsta Boo and then Lady of Rage, you know what I mean? Now, Lady of Rage is a bit of a reach. If we're going to talk about female gangster rap, now you got to go back early 90s West Coast Death Row Records. Where's Yo-Yo on here? I think Yo-Yo deserves more recognition than her as a representative for the female gangster rap movement of the early 90s than Lady of Rage. Lady of Rage really doesn't have a body of work. I don't know really one, outside of Afro Puffs, I don't know one main single that rings off from her. I don't know one main album that rings off from her. So outside of just being the only female rapper on Death Row, Yo-Yo definitely deserves props of being on here at that position. I think that's a bit of a reach. Glorilla at 21, I could see that. I definitely could see maybe 20. I do think Moni Love deserves to be on here as well, and Lotto. I like that placement. And I think Remy Ma at 18, well, we're going to get to Remy Ma right now, but I think let's go back to Lotto. 19 is a good placement for her. And I think Lotto may be up higher. She has a solid body of work. She has some singles behind her name. She makes good songs. She makes content songs, and she's got that pretty sexualized element to her, that sells. I think she could be a little bit higher, maybe, but I think Lotto and Glorilla, I think it's right about where they should be. You could argue they could be closer to 15, but I think they're at a good place right there. Moni Love deserves recognition for the pioneer aspects and what she's done in the late 80s and early 90s. So I like those placements of those artists. So let's go to 18.
And Remy Ma at 18. At 17 is the conscious and skillful Rhapsody, followed by Doja Cat at 16, and the hot girl herself, Megan Thee Stallion, at 15.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that. So basically, I think that I'll start with Megan. 15 for Megan Thee Stallion is way too high. They need to flip her back some places. I mean, she should be more at the 17 position. I think Remy Ma should be up higher. She's got name singles, iconic singles. I mean, Lean Back. I mean, to name. I mean, Grammy Award winning singles, really. I mean, her first album was pretty good. You know what I mean? She had a fire diss on Nicki Minaj too. You know what I mean? She came with Nicki Minaj, who's gonna be on this list. You know, I think she deserves more recognition than Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I mean? As far as the other artists on there, you know, I think that placement is good, but see, this is the problem with Rhapsody now. Now, Rhapsody, I think the reason why she's kind of lower, she really should be top 15 or higher, is because she has conscious content that really doesn't play to a mainstream audience. And that's a shame, because as far as content and a real overall artist, she arguably is one of the greatest female. She's top 10, top 5, maybe. You know what I mean? So I think she's definitely better than Megan Thee Stallion. Doja Cat's definitely better than Megan Thee Stallion. I would put her up there over Megan Thee Stallion. So Doja Cat, she could go up higher, but I don't know if her body of work matches that. Megan Thee Stallion to me is so overrated. And she had talent in the beginning. I think she does have talent, but she channels her energy, you know, to make the same redundant type of music, you know, and trying to recreate like you know, the hot girl summer songs and all of that, and recreate WAP, you know what I mean? And that ain't it. I think she's very overrated, and I would see her lower at number 20. But I would put those artists, Doja Cat, Remy Ma, I definitely, and Rhapsody, I definitely put them over her, definitely.
The iconic Left Eye lands at 14, with the Southern rap queen Trina at 13 and Da Brat at 12. Also, Cardi B is at number 11.
Okay, so here we go. I would reverse this order. First of all, Cardi B, I think, is one of the most overrated artists of all time. She's got one album anew and features. Now, this is where I think Billboard is easily putting her media presence over her body of work and the music that she puts out. Because Cardi B does not belong at number 11. They should flip that and put Lisa Left Eye Lopez at number 11 and not at 14. Cardi should be number 14 and 15 or something. And the ironic piece about it is Lisa Left Eye Lopez, if you come from my age group and my era, was kind of the Cardi B before Cardi B. She had a wild personality back then. She was very wild. She had a fun-loving personality. She was Latina, all of that, you know. But Lisa didn't really have the body of work, you know. She was mostly from TLC, but she added an element rap-wise that made that group one of the most iconic groups of all time. And she's got classics, Grammys, all of that. Lisa Left Eye Lopez deserves to be number 11. You know what I mean? Now, Trina, I could see her at 12. I could see her at 12 or 13. That makes sense, you know. But Cardi does not belong at number 11. She belongs more at number 15. And this is an instance where they're putting her personality over her body of work. You know what I mean? Definitely doesn't belong up there. So let's move on with the list.
Now we're getting into the top 10. Keep in mind, we're talking greatest of all time. We have Foxy Brown at 10 and the Rough Rider herself, Eve, at 9. And coming in at 8 is the old school legend Roxanne Shante.
Okay, so let me stop that there. I think Foxy Brown at 10, that's a good placement. Foxy Brown absolutely deserves to be top 10 female rappers of all time. She's got a pretty strong body of work. Her three first albums were pretty good. I think her Il Nana was a classic. I really liked her album Broken Silence, where she came with more of a reggae. You saw the Trini influence on there. She had Spraga Benz on there. She had this song "Oh Yeah," which is a yard record. You know what I mean? It's what they call what we call a yardie record. You know, us fellow Jamaicans, being I'm of Jamaican descent, and those records really ring off. You know, in the dance hall. You know what I mean? She really captured that element on that Broken Silence record. You know what I mean? So definitely, I think number 10 is good. She's got strong features. She's got hits. I mean, she rapped alongside Nas and Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Like she's done it all. You know what I mean? So she's top 10 worthy. I think Eve could be up a little bit higher. I would have her like maybe number 7. Eve is one of the more underrated rappers of all time, and she's got a strong body of work. Her first 3 albums were pretty good. The First Lady, you know, that album, that may be one of the hardest female albums of all time. I still listen to that album to this day. So I would put Eve up there. I think 9 may be selling her a little bit short. And I get Roxanne Shante being a number 8. You know, I'd probably maybe keep Roxanne at 8, you know, given that she was a pioneer from the 80s as far as a female to really make her mark, where it was primarily all men back then. You know what I mean? Back in the 80s, in the early 80s, mid to early 80s. So I would definitely do that. But Eve could be up a little bit higher. I'll say that.
Now, here's where things get interesting for me, because at number 7, they have both Salt and Pepper. While Salt and Pepper are definitely icons who brought female voices into the mainstream, ranking them as a single entity feels kind of off. They're 2 different people, and they should be respected enough to have their own individual rankings. But let's get into the top 6. We have the lyrical.
So here's my thing on Salt and Pepper. They absolutely belong in the top 10. They absolutely belong. I'll maybe flip them back to 9 and flip Eve up here. But to leave them out as because they're a duo, I think is a bit unfair. They absolutely had influence. I mean, they have some of the most iconic female records ever. I mean, from Push It to Shoot to Let's Talk About Sex. I mean, whoa, you know, they need to be on here. There's no question about that. And on here as a duo. I don't see leaving them off because they didn't put out solo work. I don't get that at all when they're known as a duo, and they had tremendous influence, you know, and had a good run 80s to the 90s. So they definitely belong on here. And let's continue on with the list.
Powerhouse MC Lyte at number 6. At number 5, we have the queen herself, Queen Latifah, a true pioneer who paved the way for so many. Number 4 belongs to the one and only Lil' Kim. Her impact on fashion, confidence, and lyrical content is undeniable.
Okay, so with that, I kind of like this area of the list. I may flip MC Lyte and Queen Latifah. I think MC Lyte deserves to be number 5, but Latifah definitely belongs on here as far as her you know, providing that outlet for, you know, female empowerment and conscious female hip hop in the late 80s, early 90s. But just to stay on MC Lyte for a little bit, MC Lyte kind of is another underrated. She's kind of like the Eve before Eve, you know. She's underrated because she never really sold that, you know, boss chick or sexualized image. But she's got iconic singles, you know what I mean? Georgie Porgy, Roughneck, I mean, the I Like to Party joint with Missy Elliott. You know what I mean? Like she did her thing. She definitely did her thing, and she's always been consistent with albums, with songs. I think she's worthy of top five as far as consistency as a female MC. So I would put her at number five, Latifah at six, and I may go Eve at number seven. You know what I mean? If I were to do that over, but I'm not mad at that placement. Little Kim may be a little bit low. Number four, I could live with that, but she's definitely worthy of as high as number two, arguably number one. I mean, she created the boss chick persona. She invented that image, that image of that sexy chick that's running shit. That's a boss, you know? And she came out with an iconic classic album out the gate. Her next two albums are pretty good too. I mean, she went up against, she rapped alongside Jay-Z, alongside Notorious B.I.G., against Jadakiss and the Lox and the Benjamins. She went up against 50 Cent on Magic Stick and killed it. I mean, she definitely maybe is the most, maybe my most complete female MC of all time. You know what I mean? I think that she definitely deserves to be a little bit higher. But I'm not mad at four. It's pretty good that. So let's get into the top three.
Billboard places Lauryn Hill at number 3. Now, this is where I have a major disagreement. While Lauryn Hill's impact on music is undeniable, especially with the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, let's be real, that album was mostly R&B with sprinkles of rap. Yeah, she was rapping with the Fugees, but her solo work leans heavily into soulful melodies. And even with the Fugees, her most popular song was Killing Me Softly, where she was singing on the whole track. There was no rapping at all. To place her at the top with rappers feels like a stretch. She solidified herself as a phenomenal R&B artist for sure, but top 3 rapper? Nah.
All right, so let me speak on the Lauryn Hill conundrum, if you will. She definitely belongs in the top 5. I mean, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is not only one of the most iconic hip hop albums, it's one of the most iconic albums, period, ever. But I hear you on the rap part. I hear you on the singing part. But the thing is, you can't really harp on, well, she sang too much when the other rappers who are on this list and the rappers, the next 2 rappers, they sing a lot too. You know what I mean? And sing a lot on their pop singles. So, but I get it with the R&B situation with her. And at the same time, she could have rapped more. But when she did rap, oh boy, did she kill it. Did she kill it. Those raps with the Fugees that she had, and I do count the Fugees as part of her catalog. Yes, I do, even though it was a group. But I think, and the fact she only put out one album, I think is a little bit of a stretch to put her at number 3. She should be number 5. I think I would have her at number 5, MC Lyte at number 4, and Kim at 3, at least at 3. I would have that. And then after that, I'd probably have 6, probably Queen Latifah, 7, probably Eve, and the rest of it, like probably 8, Salt and Pepper, you know, etc. I'll go that route if we were going to do that. So let's get to the top 2.
Coming in at number 2 is the innovative Missy Elliott. Now I can see this. Missy's creativity, unique flow, and groundbreaking visuals have cemented her as a true icon. Her impact is massive, and she's one of the biggest female rappers in hip-hop history. Now, can she freestyle? Is she lyrical? I don't know about that. And at number 1, of course, we have Nicki Minaj. This is where Billboard got it right. Nicki's reign has been nothing short of monumental. Her lyricism, her ability to switch flows, and her sheer dominance on the charts speaks for themselves. But beyond the accolades, her impact is undeniable. Look at the current generation of female artists. The City Girls, their whole vibe echoes early Nicki. Cardi B, you can see Nicki's influence in her style and her confidence.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop there. So top two was uh Missy Elliott and Nicki Minaj. Now it's interesting. When I went on a pod with Ansem from BLG, aka Bootleg Gang, and we did a versus for Missy Elliott versus Nicki Minaj. And I was surprised. I was kind of surprised, but Missy kind of took that. Missy had, I think, the more entertaining songs, the better variety of songs too. You know what I mean? As far as her overall repertoire, she definitely belongs up there. Classic first album. You could argue the first 2, 3 albums, 4 albums is pretty strong. She came with a style that was a lot, very, very left of the current movement at that time. You know what I mean? She went against the grain. Her style, her image was different, but she still came with the music. And her musically, you could argue she's the best of all time. You know what I mean? Maybe not the most lyrical, but as far as making songs, come on. And of course, we'd have to get to number one, like Nicki Minaj. And I'll just say this. I think now she's overrated. You know what I mean? But there's not one thing Nicki Minaj in this game has not done. I mean, she's got a classic first album. She raps. Allegedly, she writes her own raps. I kind of beg to differ on some of that. I think Safari helped her earlier in her career, but that's another debate for another day. She's got hits. She's crossed over to pop. Obviously she's got influence, and she's rapped alongside men and killed it. She's rapped alongside Drake, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Rick Ross, Kanye West, Jay-Z. I mean, and she's held her own against those rappers. So you kind of have to give her the nod as the most successful female artist. But now I think she's kind of like the Kanye West of females. She lives off her brand and what she used to do. And she just crashes out on social media with her opinions. And nobody's going to check her because she's got so many people that back her up that they automatically think she's right just because it's Nicki Minaj. I mean, I've never seen the biggest group of sheep in my life with the Barbs. I mean, which are the most toxic, annoying fan base known to man. But unfortunately, she is number one. I mean, there's nothing more you can do about it. I mean, you could argue maybe a Little Kim outside, but she doesn't have the longevity that a Nicki has in this game as far as the consistency is concerned. But she definitely does have some influence on rappers, even though it's not a good influence with this over-sexualized content that's out there. But I mean, like, oh, you influence the City Girls. Like, oh, that's a big win. You know what I mean? But even artists like Ice Spice, who I think's overrated, Nicki influenced her too with the style or what have you. But there you have it. Let me stop sharing now. But overall, I would say that this is a pretty solid list. I think Billboard did a decent job on this. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is better than the top 50 that they put out. It could use a little bit of work towards the bottom. Like I kind of question Lady of Rage. I think they gave Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi a little bit too much love, but that's because of their media influence, not their body of work. Musically, there are better artists than her. I would definitely put Doja Cat ahead of uh Cardi B. You could argue Glorilla and then Cardi B, but Glorilla's kind of starting out. But I could see that. You know what I mean? I think Eve deserves to be higher on this list. I think MC Light deserves to be in the top five. But outside of that, not bad. I think they got pretty much at least 24 out of 25 right. I don't know who I would put over Tierra Whack. He mentioned Charlie Baltimore or Rod Digger. I guess, but I don't know what impact they really had. You know what I mean? Outside of a little run in the late 90s. I mean, there's also underground artists like Jean Grey, you could put on here, but she's not going to get the exposure because she's an underground artist. And at least you left off, I mean, two total clown caricature rappers in Iggy Azalea and Ice Spice. You left those off, which I'm glad they did that. You know what I mean? Because I think they are two of the biggest gimmicks out there. And if you want to claim the industry plant card, you could definitely plug that in that equation when it comes to those two ladies right there. So what you think? Let me know in the comments. What you think? Did they Billboard get it right? Is this the top 25 you would have? Who could be higher? Who could be lower? Is Nicki Minaj your number one? Let me know in the comments. But I think overall, this list is pretty good. It's not bad at all. This is probably the most complete Billboard list I've seen compared to the other ones from the New York MC list. I don't know if Billboard did that one, but that list and also the top 50 of all time, they definitely did a better job. So with that, let me know what you think. Top 25 female rappers of all time. Did they get it right? Or are you not feeling this list? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. We will be coming with some new content soon and some new reviews. And a couple more probably next couple of weeks. I'm going to come with some new content for y'all, all right? With that, enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon and the rest of your weekend, all right? Peace.